Hello, this is Mike Hayes and I'd like to welcome you to the second tape in our music composition series. The first video in the series focused on creating original melodies, and you might like to check it out if the concept of geometrical inversions is new to you. On this video we'll use geometrical inversions to give us an exact way of creating a psychological contrast from any given chord in a composition. And this can be useful when there is doubt to what the reciprocal chord structure might be, or alternatively it offers us an exact way of finding the reciprocal chord structure in the cases where the latter is entirely unknown. Now, just before we go across to the piano keyboard and the guitar and have a look at how geometrical inversions work there, I'd like to just give you a brief visual concept of what we're setting out to achieve with this process. Essentially what we're wanting to do is to create a chord that is a direct reflection, an accurate reflection in terms of interval distance to whatever chord we're working on. Now let's say for example you've written a song and we're wanting to find out what is the contrasting chord to C major. So if we look at our photo, and if we imagine that this line here that I'm drawing represents middle C on the piano, and that this line that I'm drawing here, this vertical structure, is the chord of C major. So we have C, and I'm calling this line our pitch axis. I'm creating the chord of C major, C, E, and then I have G. Now what we're wanting to do with our geometrical inversion is to find out what is the chord that's reflected in the exact opposite direction from our C major. What is the chord structure that's created that has the exact same interval distance as the C major? So let's see, in between the notes C and E we have 4 semitones, and then in between the note E and G we have 3 semitones. So using C as my starting point, if I move down 4 semitones from middle C on the piano keyboard, and we'll do this in a moment just so you can see it, we will have the note A flat. And then if I move down, so that's our interval of 4 moving in this direction, and then if I move down 3 more semitones from A flat, I'll have the note F. So the chord that is accurately contrasted to C major is in fact F minor. We have C major, and the geometrical inversion that we've just done here shows us that the chord that is contrasting to C major is in fact F minor. Here we are on the piano keyboard. Our pitch axis is going to be C. Moving up to the note E, we find we have 4 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from E to G is 3 semitones. E to F, F to F sharp, and then G. So we have add 4, add 3 in this direction gives us C major. Let's go in the opposite direction now to find out what chord is the contrasting chord to C major. So we're going to go down, we're going to go minus 4 semitones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we find we have A flat. And then moving down from A flat 3 more, we find we have the note F. So A flat to G, G to G flat, G flat to F, and so now we find the contrasting chord to C major is F minor. Applying the exact same process to the guitar fingerboard, this is how our geometrical inversion of a C major triad would look. Here is the C that is the equivalent to middle C on the piano. That's our reference point, our pitch axis. We have C, E and G to create our C major triad. And down here we have again our C. This time we're building down from the C. We have our A flat and our F, and that creates our F minor triad. Let's have a listen to how this sounds. Here's one more example on the guitar fingerboard. Once you know what the reciprocal chord is, the next step is to choose the most suitable chord inversion for your particular musical project. In this instance I have a second inversion C major triad, and I'm using the process of voice leading to make the most musical transition to the nearest F minor triad. So I have the G in the C chord moving to the A flat in the F minor triad. The C is common to both chords, and I'm moving the E note in the C major triad to the F note in the F minor triad. And let's have a listen to how that sounds. So there you have it. As you can see, there's no need to spend hours searching for that mystery chord. This whole process takes all the guesswork out of it, and it gives you an exact way of working out what the contrasting chord is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we've been talking about musical composition, and in particular how to create contrasting chordal textures using geometrical inversions. I look forward to catching up with you on the next tape.